I'm Steve Mcintoch. I'm one of the founding partners of a new think tank called the Institute for Cultural Evolution. It's based in America, in the Bay Area. And our goal is to influence culture, especially focusing on the American political electorate, because we really understand that many political problems in the United States and really throughout the developed world are deep cultural problems, problems of identity, problems of cultural conflict. And many well-meaning people who seek to solve these political problems are only focusing on a surface level and not thinking it's possible to begin to address these problems at the level of identity, at the level of cultural evolution. And cultural evolution occurs when people's values change, when their sense of self, when their definition of the good life, when their understanding of what's beautiful, true, and good evolves to more inclusive perspectives. And many of the problems that we face today, such as climate change, political polarization, these problems have arisen as a result of cultural evolution. In other words, they're an emergent condition of the modern world. And so it's not as if we think that modernism and industrial economy is necessarily a bad thing. It's just the problems that have arisen along with it require further evolution for their amelioration. So our idea of creating cultural evolution involves introducing new ideas into the culture, guided strategically by the philosophy that animates our initiatives. And this is integral philosophy, or also known as the evolutionary perspective. And this perspective helps us understand how consciousness and culture co-evolve together. In other words, people's values, their sense of self, their belonging in the culture actually does go through stages of evolution. And when we look at history, we can begin to understand that it's the attraction power of new values relating to old problems that actually causes consciousness and culture to evolve. And so our institute, the Institute for Cultural Evolution, understands culture change as a new frontier of political activism within democracies. And we've designed a series of campaigns with measurable goals, such as changing poll numbers or making energy independence and climate change a more important issue within American politics, by driving people's demand for it, and specifically by understanding why, for example, in the United States, the poll numbers in support of action on climate change have dropped by 20 points in the last 5 years. This is because of cultural conflict. It's because those who advocate concern for the environment are threatening to people in the mainstream and people who have a traditional center of gravity. So our focus is on progressive culture itself, to help it move, to help the thought leaders and the discourse within progressive culture, within the environmental movement, for example, to move from a position of counterculture, from a position of antithesis to the larger society, to a level of synthesis, right? This pattern of cultural evolution, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, has been understood for at least the last couple of hundred years. And this isn't some dry theoretical philosophy. It's an understanding that discloses living systems of culture, internal cultural ecosystems. And when we begin to understand these systems of values and how they interact, how they move forward, how they get stuck, how conflicts emerge, and how conflicts can be overcome, we believe we can apply this philosophy to create some real measurable results on difficult issues such as climate change and in the United States, political polarization, which is really a problem at the root of many other problems. And our institute is founded by myself, Steve Mcintoch, and my colleagues, Professor Michael Zimmerman at the University of Colorado, an ecologist and author in the area of integral philosophy, Carter Phipps, an award-winning journalist and magazine editor who's now joined the Institute and is a very persuasive writer, and Elizabeth DeBold, a specialist in women's developmental studies. We all have advanced degrees, and we've all been involved in the field of integral philosophy, or the evolutionary perspective, for over a decade. And we've all sensed that this way of seeing has profound political applications. And so now, through both philanthropy and crowdfunding, and also a client-centric model where we work with other nonprofits and NGOs who are working on issues like climate change or political polarization, by fortifying their efforts through this new perspective of cultural evolution, which the philosophy movement that we're involved in really brings. So we're excited to be a part of this. I'm here today in Paris with my good friend Michel Saloff-Coste, and he and I are both involved in the integral movement, or the evolutionary perspective. Yesterday we were participating in a conference put on by the Club of Budapest, which is a Parisian-based cultural organization that focuses on future studies and helping create a better future for all of us. And after the conference yesterday, Michelle and I are here at another conference on the future of energy. And so we've taken a moment to say some things about our vision, and to have a few minutes of film just to help communicate the message. So for more information, you can visit our website, culturalevolution.org, and my work can be found on my website, saloff-Mcintoch.com.